City volunteers in Penang host an Eid distribution joined by care recipients of different ethnicities. Students from 10 Tzu Chi Project Hope schools performing a gratitude concert in Nantou. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Siri Su. Thank you for joining us. Eid-al Fitr is one of the largest events in the Muslim faith. To help celebrate this event for their Muslim care recipients, Tzu Chi volunteers from Penang hosted an Eid distribution before the holiday. Volunteers also invited care recipients of other ethnicities to celebrate this day together. City volunteers use these last moments before Eid distribution begins for practice. The normally reserved office is bursting with energy thanks to the amount of people who have come to the distribution. Tzu Chi care recipients and volunteers take a picture to capture this festive event.
Our Eid after celebrations are not the same as year past. Usually we celebrate with the Malays, but this year is special because we asked our care recipients who are of the three major ethnicities to join us. This is what friendship is about.
During the event, Tzu Chi volunteers also arranged for the children to present carnations to their parents and express their gratitude.
Tzu Chi volunteers really care for us. Each year, they host an Eid distribution, and we are all moved. I am Muslim, but the volunteers are not. Yet, they don't ignore our religious needs and continue to care for us very deeply.
I'm so happy to be here today. We'll come eat with Tzu Chi and people of other races. Here it matters not where you are from. We are all one family.
The Eid-al Fitr distribution is akin to a party for the care recipients and comes to a joyful conclusion as the recipients go home with bags full of Eid items and happy spirits to celebrate the holiday. In Haiti, Tzu Chi volunteers continue to distribute rice to the families in need. At the distribution, Tzu Chi volunteer Father Zucchi explained to the rice recipients that the distributions are made possible because of Dharma Master Cheng Yen's compassion. Many rice recipients also expressed their gratitude because the rice is a timely help for people who face financial difficulties.
Le riz est important pour cette population, vraiment.
Rice is vital for the population.
Les Haïtiens.
People are deprived and hungry. Haitians eat a lot of rice. Rice is a Haitian's national dish.
Today is our last day of distribution. Altogether, around 70,000 people will be benefited.
I'm 22 years old. I have one child and no husband. I work in a factory and it's useful because a can of rice is expensive. We eat the rice with bean sauce or by itself.
C'est lui-même qui permet nous capables à recevoir du riz aujourd'hui.
It is her who makes it possible for us to distribute the rice to you today. Thanks for Master Cheng Yen for her compassion and love for the less fortunate. Because the poor can also help the poor, not just the rich.
After my accident, I couldn't do anything. My husband was shot and killed. I don't have any other family. My mother and father died as well. I'm alone with my children and I'm here to get the rice.
I'm 22 years old and I live with 14 kids and 16 adults, including brothers and sisters. Because of the donations, I do not have to buy rice. However, I'll buy seasoning, oil, and charcoal. The small can cost almost $1.
So happy to be here, and so many kids and so many local people can be served by us.
I'm coming to get rice with my mom. I like eating rice and vegetables. Thank you.
Thanks for helping us because some parents can't feed their children.
This rice helps me a lot because I don't have anything. I'm isolated. It helps people in need. Thank you. Thank you.
Without this kind of rice, a lot of kids will become street kids because parents cannot feed them. Now the situation here is improved a lot.
Hello, Federal. C'est moi qui t'appelle. Je trouvais un livre. C'est pour les cadeaux. C'est pour laisser rappeler à cadeau Siri Su. Il ne faut pas oublier. C'est de ma maison.
Tzu Chi Senior High School, affiliated with Tzu Chi University, hosted a graduation ceremony for the 526 graduates. They include graduates from its kindergarten, elementary, middle, and senior high school. Regardless of the age of the graduates, they take with them the blessing and well wishes of their teachers to head towards the next chapter of their life. Let's join them there. Bowing deeply, the students use their actions to represent the love they cannot express through words to their parents. In the eyes of the parents, these acts are moving and heartwarming.
祝福在座的所有毕业生，你们都有着光明。
I want to wish all the graduates, may your bright future await you. This is your moment to take flight and soar high.
请师长颁发毕业证书。
From kindergarten to high school, the 526 graduates from various Tzu Chi affiliated education takes the stage to receive their diploma. The way they hold themselves often on stage is a testament to their education here at Tzu Chi as they wave goodbye to the past.
感谢老师们。
Thank you, teachers, for sculpting us, for passing on your wisdom and knowledge, also for your continual forgiveness.
Thank you, Eid parents' selfless great love. You are our beacon of wisdom when our souls are lost.
As the final performance by the teachers and graduates comes to an end, both sides chose to send each other off with blessings instead of tears. The young drummer's vow and dedication also moves everyone in the audience. Dharma Masters from the Jingsi abode joined the ceremony and handed out the highest honor award from Master Cheng Yen to the students. They also hope the children who have grown up in Tzu Chi knows the world is their oyster. The graduates from the kindergarten affiliation also have vows to make.
In the future, I will try harder to be a little bodhisattva that gives back to society.
Running towards tomorrow, these graduates' life has just begun. With Tzu Chi's support behind them, it is hoped these graduates courageously write a new chapter in their life. Nearly 20 years have passed since Taiwan was devastated by the 9/21 earthquake. Back then, Tzu Chi helped rebuild 51 destroyed or damaged schools. Recently, students from 10 Project Hope schools have gathered at Nantou Elementary School for a gratitude concert. Through their performances, they want to express their love and gratitude. Teachers from Tzu Chi Teachers Association have come to Nantou Elementary School again. In the immediate aftermath of the 9/21 earthquake, these teachers travel here by tour buses each month to calm the children's anxious minds.
We hope they could feel a peace of mind. As the children's minds were calmed, they could also influence their parents. Otherwise, back then, everyone was feeling anxious.
Back then, the teachers left home by 2 a.m. to reach Nantou before daybreak.
When we arrived at the school, it was before 7 a.m. The principal would say that we were so early. The teachers have arrived before the host.
During the 9/21 earthquake, Nantou was the hardest hit area. Tzu Chi has helped rebuild more than 30 high schools and elementary schools in the area, including Nantou Elementary School.
Tzu Chi's slogan was, "A bag of cement comes with love, a ton of steel comes with care." Tzu Chi volunteers are very kind-hearted. They give of themselves without asking for returns.
The school's former principal, Chen Qingsui, remembers Tzu Chi volunteers' love and care. 20 years later, he remains pious and vigilant.
We move forward and look ahead of us without feeling sorrowful. Everyone must know that disaster can strike at any time. No one can predict when it will strike.
Harboring gratitude, may everyone remember that year and stay pious.
Students from 10 Project Hope schools have performed for everyone, expressing love and gratitude with music. If you have a soul in your body that is different from your original gender, it can be quite painful. In Malaysia, there's a foundation that cares for this group of people. They have long been accompanying those who are not recognized by society, helping solve the problems in their lives. This foundation recently asked for Tzu Chi's assistance to help this group of people reconnect with society. Here's more.
I'm either male or female.
They are born male, but they identify themselves as female from childhood.
I'm 67 years old. I'm from Indonesia. I arrived in Malaysia when I was 24. I work at a coffee shop.
My name is Nasha. I'm a transgender woman. I'm 47 years old. I work here as a drop-in coordinator for this foundation. Jenny, makan. I knew Jenny when very long time ago. She was not healthy at that time. She was able to work. Last year when I met her, she told me all of a sudden that she's homeless. She can't work because she had a problem with her leg. She had a leg injury. Moreover, she's deaf. She can't hear. We have to sometimes shout at her. Z, bangun, tay makan. Some of them, their families do not accept them. When they come out, they face challenge. Sadly to say, most people do not want to employ these people. People look them in a negative way.
I live a hard life. I was unemployed, so occasionally I collect recycling to sell for a living.
We went to a transgender street, a street populated by transgender people. There's a community center here that takes them in, so the center reported Jenny's case.
Tzu Chi supports me with financial aid monthly. This is my burden and makes me happy. I like to thank the volunteers.
And during that time, she was very stressful. She was not herself. But now I see when she has her own place to stay, she's much more comfortable. She's independent. She just go on with her daily life.
There are the food supplies provided by Tzu Chi. I pass the packaging on the wall to keep them as mementos. Whenever I receive help from others, I surely remember them. I pray to God to bless Tzu Chi volunteers with good health and peace.
A mentally challenged man in Kaohsiung was unable to clean his living environment and has accumulated garbage all over his house. The borrower had asked Tzu Chi volunteers for help and how volunteers can give him a hand. The house was so messy and there were so many cockroaches that even the volunteers were scared. Fortunately, the volunteers overcame their fear to clean up the place, providing the man with a better living environment.
The house is filled with garbage and messy items. There are also cockroaches all over the place. It's hard to imagine how anyone can live in here.
He
has a mental illness, so his house is piled with garbage. His neighbor informed us that the cockroaches kept coming out from his house and the smell is unbearable, so they hope that we can come and help clean.
He collected and stored garbage, and he doesn't take showers or clean the house. He has disturbed many residents in the community.
The grandma's son damaged his brain more than 20 years ago and was unable to clean his house due to mental problems. The borough head and neighbors asked Tzu Chi for help and hope that volunteers can give him a neat living environment.
We are very grateful to you all because Tzu Chi has been caring for the underprivileged and the forgotten people. Thank you.
Volunteers conquered their fear and cleaned the dirty environment. They've also disinfected the bathroom and made the house neat and clean. They will visit regularly for aftercare.
In China, Xiamen city volunteers have started carrying out charity work in Gulangyu. The local residential committee has referred a case to Tzu Chi. Therefore, city volunteers have been caring for a solitary senior who is mentally challenged. The volunteers have cleaned up his living environment and invited him to do recycling. The fire line in between two houses is extremely narrow. At the end of lane is a place built with zinc plates. This is where Cai Weiguo calls home. Inside the place, there are spider webs, heavy dust covering the closet, and dirty laundry. Oh. 66-year-old Cai Weiguo is a solitary senior who is mildly mentally challenged. Having suffered a stroke, his limbs are not agile. Gulangyu Residential Committee has referred him to Tzu Chi earlier in April. Therefore, the volunteers have been caring for him. In April, the volunteers cleaned up his living environment. By May, the volunteers invited him to join the ranks of recycling volunteers.
He gradually worked out of his comfort zone. Otherwise, he would just stay at home, feeling depressed. He can come join us, creating a cycle of kindness. We have formed affinities with him. By interacting with him, we hope he feels the love of a family. This way, he would be living a more joyful life.
After doing recycling, the volunteers accompany Cai to go home. Then they teach him how to take care of himself.
Speaking from my mind, I feel that he is like my elderly family. I do not know how to describe it. I feel quite close to him. I feel that he is a senior who is very pure. He cooperates with the volunteers. We are a Tzu Chi family. Are we a family? Yes?
Although Tzu Chi volunteers and Cai are not related by blood, Cai has felt the love of the big Tzu Chi family. A 12-year-old Filipino of Chinese descent went on an exchange program in Xiamen, China. He suddenly suffered cerebral hemorrhage and an emergency surgery saved his life. His parents rushed to accompany him. City volunteers also provided care to this family in need.
80 people provide 80 blessings as their prayers were turned into cards, and then Tzu Chi volunteers delivered them to a children's hospital. On this hospital bed is a 12-year-old boy surnamed Cai, who is from the Philippines, but went to Xiamen to participate in an educational exchange. He suddenly suffered a cerebral hemorrhage, which was confirmed as cerebrovascular malformation, requiring emergency craniotomy.
She is a medical volunteer. This is the hospital's senior nurse.
Now the intracranial pressure is not very stable, as the physician says he needs more observation and his head should not be moved. This can cause bleeding from cerebral blood vessels, as this area is not very stable, but we can move and massage his feet a little.
The hospital's senior nurse, Tzu Chi volunteer Chen Su gave her professional advice about post-operative massage.
They're not familiar with life here. We want to give them a little bit of love and compassion.
The young boy luckily escaped life-threatening danger. Although he can't speak, he is conscious. His parents can breathe a sigh of relief. Far away from home, this family is very fortunate that their child is able to avert serious illness. I've been comforted by these compassionate Tzu Chi volunteers.
Liu Baodeng in Pingdong, Taiwan is a banana farmer and a dedicated Tzu Chi volunteer. He does recycling every day and has turned his work into a ground to sort recycled materials. He has been a big supporter of DaAi TV with his income from selling bananas. Let's meet this dedicated Tzu Chi volunteer.
The truck drove away the recycled items that haven't been sorted in the recycling station. The banana orchard's owner, Liu Baoling, moved the recycled items because he often uses his free time to sort them.
This is PP bag and feed bags. We must separate the plastic bag inside.
The feed bags have many different kinds and they have to be torn apart to sort. The process was not enjoyable. The powder became the fertilizers in the farmland. Other than banana trees, there are piles of recycled goods in the orchard. He sells them after accumulating a certain amount and he puts into much effort for recycling. His clothes is already old and there are many holes in them. He seldom spends any money buying clothes.
I haven't bought any clothes for 20 years. I only bought the uniform.
His socks are a different color because it was unwanted items from his family. His cell phone is also second-hand from his relatives. He lives a simple life and makes money planting bananas. In 2018, the banana price went down, but he still donated some of his incomes to DaAi Television.
I have the vision that DaAi TV can have the power to impact society.
He also has to take care of his 90-year-old mother. He watched DaAi TV with his mother, who has mobility issues, and they talked about doing recycling in the past. He's not only a filial son, but also a big supporter of DaAi TV.
We recycling volunteers all support DaAi TV, so we must continue to work for it.
In Brazil, the Tzu Chi Liaison Office has held a prayer ceremony and charity event to help affected residents in Eastern Africa. They hope that with Tzu Chi volunteers' help, the affected residents can rebuild their homes soon. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.